This is the Get Savvy Show, brought to you by the Reluctant Leader Academy. I'm your host, Mark Terrell, and on each episode, I'm going to help you get savvy to allow you and your business to grow. We'll be focusing on the three elements that lead to business success: your mindset, your processes, and your skills. Hello and welcome to this edition of the Get Savvy Show with me, Mark Terrell. And today I'm going to be talking about character strengths. The reason being that I took an online assessment type thing at the weekend, and it actually showed me what my character strengths were by putting them in order, really. And it wasn't about saying that you weren't good at other things. It was actually saying, well, what are your strengths and how are you using them? So I'm going to share with you my top 5 character strengths and what I thought about it, really. And if you're interested, I will drop a link to the survey or questionnaire that I did. And it'd be interesting to find out whether you gain something from it and how you actually use the information. For me, I will go through how I'm going to use the information, because I think character strengths are interesting in that we tend to focus on the things that we're not particularly good at. Things, maybe our faults, maybe our weaknesses. Actually knowing what your strengths are and actually making use of those is actually what we should be starting with, and not concentrating on the things that maybe are seen as negative about us. So let's jump into the information that I gained at the weekend. So firstly, on the left-hand side there, you'll see that my top 5 strengths are, from top to bottom: forgiveness, hope, love of learning, fairness, and perspective. So those words obviously need to be sort of broken down into actually what they mean. So you'll see that the optimal use is where it sort of gives you an idea of how to use that those strengths to their optimum, so that you're using them so they're effective. So forgiveness is, I was surprised to get that as my top, actually. I wouldn't have, out of the 24 character strengths, I wouldn't have picked that as my top strength. But actually thinking about it, it is something that I sort of live by. I do forgive and forget and move on as soon as I can. It's not something I don't want to dwell on the negatives. So letting go of hurt when wronged is one of my top strengths. So then you think about, well, when am I using that strength? And actually, I use it pretty much every day. I try to look through what's happening to make sure that it's what's happening, or maybe something that I wanted to happen that didn't happen, so I don't sort of dwell on it and get myself into a negative mindset. So, but the interesting thing was to look at the overuse of that top strength. So on the right it says overuse. It says permissive and doormat. So in other words, if I use it too much, I can become like, well, I just accept everything and question nothing. Now I was thinking about this and how that reflects on how I coach and how I relate to other people, and I can quite easily get into that position of being too permissive and doormat style, in that I accept everything and I just see people as, well, they've just made a mistake and they're not seeing things I do. But sometimes you need to be more challenging, and it's something I teach my clients about, being supportive and challenging. So sometimes you need to step into that challenge. So really moving back from that overuse into the optimal use, letting go of hurt and wrong so that it doesn't hold you back, but don't let it stay in that sort of position where you're just accepting everything and not questioning anything. So my other strengths going down the list are hope, which means positive expectations and optimistic. Yes, I am. It sort of links in with the top one. Love of learning is information seeking, lifelong learning. Yes, I am my happiest when I'm learning stuff. And those that tune in to this regularly will know that I spoke about bringing guests on, which is in the pipeline and will happen shortly. So those guests will be people that I can learn from, and you guys will be able to learn from as well. So I'm, yes, one of those things that I like to do, say that I'm actually come out of something and realise that that's important to me. When I go to networking events, it's actually when you hear people speak and you've got something that you learn and you can use going forward. That's really important to me. Fairness, champions equal opportunity for all. Champions equal opportunity for all. Yes, I think that's a good trait to have, and to be coming from that position as much as possible. And then the perspective sees and offers the wider view. So yes, I'm quite good at actually putting things in perspective and realizing that something that's happening today is probably not going to have a massive impact. It's the actual overall vision and how we're getting there, and all those sort of other elements that sort of added together are what's important, and keeping that perspective. So hopefully that's useful. I will put, as I said, I put the link to the survey questionnaire that I used, and so that if you're interested, it's a free thing you can do, and you can then upgrade to have a full report, which I did, by the way. So I got more information about where I am, and there's other things around. If your top five top five strengths, where they are within a grid, and how they are about. Well, I won't spoil it for you, but it's a great report. I recommend if you're interested in this stuff and self-development, like I am. It's just something that I can work on. And if these are my top five strengths, how do I use them most effectively? And also not allowing them to become overused. And that's a strength. Just having that information is really important, so that we don't fall into that trap of overusing something that is our strength. But I think also when we are thinking about strengths, is seeing it in other people and noticing it. When we come to leadership, knowing what somebody's strengths are is important, but it's actually more important to point it out. If you see something that people maybe are not spending enough time doing, or maybe a trait that you see that you wish that they'd use more of, then I think that it's a good thing to point it out. And what we're talking about here is feedback. And when you are leading a team, if you want to see more of something, then tell someone that you want to see more of it, and make people aware actually you've got something there that you can really use, and it's a positive thing that you can bring to the team, bring to the situation. And if they become more involved and use that character strength, then it's good for them, it's good for the team, it's good for the business, good in all many ways. So this stuff is really useful, but it's quite difficult. If you're given a list of 24 character strengths and told, well, pick out the ones you think are your strengths, it's a quite tricky thing to do. And even me, I think I'm quite self-aware because of all the work I've done with all sorts of tools around personality, behavioural styles, motivation, all those things. And all these things help give you a better picture of what your strengths are, what you like doing, what you need to avoid. All those things are great feedback, and it's quite difficult sometimes in a leadership position to get that information. So these tools are really useful. So I'm conscious that I don't want to waffle on too much about it, but I hope this has been useful. And tune into your character strength. That is basically what I'm advocating here. Don't want that, do we? Is to tune in with to what your character strengths are, and don't focus on your negatives. Make sure that you know what your strengths are and make the most of them. And also for others, point out what you see as character strengths for them, and ask them or suggest maybe they should use more of that character strength. So thank you for tuning in today, and if you would like this the content, then please share, like, comment, subscribe, all the things that will help this information to get a wider viewing and hopefully make more of a difference. And until the next episode of the Get Savvy Show by the Reluctant Leader Academy, I will see you, cheerio, and have a great day.